Hello, today we're looking at Glencoe Course 2 Math, Lesson 3-4 on multiplying integers. So, we know that if we add integers, a positive plus a positive is a positive, and a negative plus a negative is a negative. And we know that if the signs are different, we take the difference between the two numbers and keep the sign of the greater absolute value. And then we know that when we subtract, we change our subtraction sign to addition and we find the additive inverse of our second term. And then we have an addition problem. Well, that's not quite how it works with multiplication. Multiplication is going to be a little bit different. So the first thing I want to do is I want to model what this might look like. Okay? I need a multiplication problem. Yes, sir. 12 times 9? Okay. Do you know what 12 times 9 is?
108.
108? Okay. So 12 times 9 is 108. I'm going to change your problem a little bit. Okay? We're going to make this a negative 12. That means that I have negative 12 9 times. Do I have it 9 times? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. Okay. When we were first learning how to do this, we were told that multiplication was repeated addition, correct? Okay. So that means we're going to add all these up? Alright. If I have a negative plus a negative, our answer is going to be?
Negative.
Plus a negative?
Negative.
Plus a negative?
Negative.
Plus a negative?
Negative.
Negative, plus a negative,
Negative.
plus a negative,
Negative.
plus a negative,
Negative.
plus a negative.
Negative.
You're trying to be funny, but remember you're being recorded. Plus a negative is a?
Negative.
Okay, so our answer is going to be negative. Then, let's add them. 2 plus 2 is? Plus 2 is? Plus 2?
8.
Plus 2?
10.
Okay. Plus 2?
12.
Plus 2?
14.
Plus 2?
16.
Plus 2?
18.
And I already carried my 1. Alright? 1 plus 1 is?
2.
Plus 1?
3.
Plus 1?
4.
Plus 1?
5.
Plus 1?
6.
Plus 1?
7.
Plus 1?
8.
Plus 1?
9.
Plus 1?
10.
So, that makes that answer negative 108. I'm confused. Because when I added, the sign of the greater absolute value is going to be our answer. Is that true this time?
No.
Which has a greater absolute value, negative 12 or 9?
9.
No. 9 is greater, but negative 12 has a greater absolute value because negative 12 is further away from 0. Would our answer be different if we had 12 times negative 9?
No.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes.
Let's say that instead we move the negative sign here. We have negative 9 12 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops, I gave one too many. Okay. So, let's check. Negative plus negative is a?
Negative.
Plus negative?
Negative.
Plus negative?
Negative.
Plus a negative? negative, plus a 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 negative, negative. Okay. What's 9 plus 9?
18.
Plus 9 is
36. 45.
40.
I mean,
45.
I just said
54, 63, 72, 81, 90.
What's 90 plus 9?
99.
Okay, 99, and then plus 9 is going to be
102.
108. Okay. So whether we had negative 12 times 9 or 12 times negative 9, our answer both times was negative 108. But when we had positive 12 times positive 9, we still had a positive answer. Or the positive times positive equaling positive makes sense. Because when we learned how to multiply, we didn't know that negatives existed. Right? Okay. So, before I tell you our rule, what do you think would happen if we had a negative times a negative? Raise your hand if you think that a negative times a negative would be negative. Okay. Raise your hand if you think that a positive times positive is... Correction. Raise your hand if you think a negative times a negative would be a positive. Okay. Believe it or not, a negative times a negative is a positive. Because if we had, listen, okay, so we did the repeated addition both times. If we multiplied it by another negative, then that negative says we're going to take the opposite of 12, listen, times the opposite of 9. So the opposite of 12 would be negative 9. And then when we take the opposite of the negative, we get a positive. A plus. Okay? So, there's a way that I like to remember this. Okay? We have a positive patty, like our positive. And if they went to the mall with another positive patty, are they going to have a good time together? Yeah, they're going to have a good time, so our answer will be
Positive.
positive. The two had a positive time at the mall. Okay, well, what if we had a positive Patty and a negative Nancy? Are either one of them going to have a good time?
No.
No.
you're going to be disturbing.
Right, they're going to be bickering at each other the whole time. One person's going to be saying, oh, this is so cute. I love it, I love it, I love it. The other person's like, why are you so happy? I can't deal with all the happy. Okay? Neither one of them is going to have a great time. So that's going to be a negative experience at the mall. They probably won't go to the mall together again.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. They won't go to the mall together again. All right? Well, what if they walked on the opposite sides of each other? You know, they switched sides. Maybe that would help. If we had a negative Nancy and a positive Patty, but they switched sides, are they going to have a better time?
No.
No, they're still going to have a negative experience at the mall. Okay? They're still not going to want to try that again. What if we had a negative Nancy and a negative Nancy, and they went to the mall together? Would they have a good time? Yeah, they could both complain to each other about how expensive everything is or how everything's too cute and whatever. Okay? They would have a positive experience together because they both, wanted to complain about stuff, right? Okay. So, guess what, guys? Those are our rules for multiplying integers. Now, do you have to remember that the positive is a positive Patty and the negative is a negative Nancy? Absolutely not. But does it help a little bit? Yeah. Okay, let's look at this in the context of our books. if you look at page 234 at the top, it shows you 4 times negative 3 on a number line. And it shows that repeated addition on a number line. And it shows that, again, if we have a positive times a negative, our answer will be negative. Okay? So, under our examples 1 and 2, we could do 3 times negative 5 or negative 6 times 8. But I want to do example, the B underneath it, negative 7 times 4. Okay? So this is example 1B. Negative 7 times 4. Did I write my problem differently than they did?
Yeah.
Do they mean anything different?
No.
No, they do not. No, they do not. So, what is 7 times 4?
28.
28, thank you. Is that 28 going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Why?
Because
Let's raise the hand so that we're not all talking at once. Yes, ma'am?
7 has the greatest absolute value.
Do we need the absolute value?
No.
No. It does have a greater absolute value, absolutely. But if we have one negative and we have one positive, it's going to be negative. Okay? All right. Let's look at page 235.